What's cracking, peeps? Darren McDuffie here, alias Fat Man, helping you become perfectly healthy and toned and conscious, of course, yo. So, giving people a chance to come on if they're going to come on and view. I'm just going to sit here and sip my water for a few and just wait for some people to come in. Good Wednesday night here. I know my Jewish friends are celebrating Rosh Hashanah, so hope that's going well for you. And I know a lot of people who are Jewish are going to be off for tomorrow for that particular holiday, so enjoy your day off. And I'll go ahead and get started here in a little bit. For most of you who are out there, you may not know that, or you've been following me, you know that I started a new job, and it was a job that I manifested. And I want to talk a little bit more about that tonight. And, you know, just some of the things that I learned going through the whole process of really having to be able to manifest something that I really desired and what I really wanted. So for most of us out there, we are looking to change something. If you are someone who is having an issue with your body, perhaps you're overweight, you're looking to change your weight. If you're having a issue with an illness, you're looking to get some kind of relief from that illness. If you're having something going on with a relationship, you're looking for some type of relief when that relationship. And when I first started out, I was always talking about health and all these just health-related issues. But what I slowly realized is that everything is consciousness. And mainly we have a couple of different areas in our life where we're looking to change something. It's either, like I said, your job, career, relationship, or it's within your health. And a lot of these principles that I'm discussing are mainly for taking these particular things and spreading them out over the course of whatever that you are looking for. You're looking for a change. So let's get into what I'm talking about. You see here, living over various emotions. And that's what love actually is. And that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Love is just living over various emotions. And many people don't know that. And I will be showing you how this turns around or reverses itself and how it all comes back to really loving yourself. So a long time ago, I was a fitness trainer. I'm still certified to do strength and conditioning and do all these things. And I had a fitness camp which helped women to lose weight. So the way that I would get these women to actually spend money on themselves was to get them in the room and ask them what didn't they not like about their bodies. And a lot of people can pick out the one thing that they don't like about their bodies. We can pick out that one thing. We can pick out something we don't like about our spouse or the person that we're dating at this particular time. We can pick out something about our job that we do not like or do not agree with. And we can take that and we can focus on that. Very few people can take one aspect that they do like about themselves, they do love about themselves, and focus on that. And that is the key. The key is to, in order for you to transform your body, to transform your relationship, to transform your job, you want to move to another job, you have to find out what you like or love about that particular aspect. What do you really love about your body? A lot of people are always trying to push against what they don't like about their bodies, and they think that that's the easiest way for them to change. That is the hardest way for you to change. When you focus on what you really love about your body, then by universal law, that has to expand. Everybody's heard the thing where they say what you focus on expands. And you can do this for yourself. A lot of people need proof, and proof actually hangs a lot of people up. But if you do, one of those people do, you need proof and you're a realist or whatever you call yourself, focus on one thing. Focus on something that's bad and see how many bad things you get in your reality. Vice versa, focus on something that you think is really positive, something that you like, and see how that expands within your reality. It's a very simple experiment for you to do. But getting back to the story of really putting these women in a room and asking them what they didn't like about their body, they could reel off the things that they didn't like. Perhaps they didn't like their arms. Perhaps they didn't like their thighs. Whatever it was, even on the back, they wanted to get more definition and muscle in their back or whatever it was. But I guarantee you, if I'd asked them one thing that they loved about your body, it would probably stomp them. And that's our society in a whole. We're taught to really focus on the negative things in our life. And that's how marketing gets you to say, hey, I need this. I need this weight loss program. I need this new job. I need this new phone, this new smartphone, because they focus on the negative and make you think that you need something within your life. You don't really need anything. Many people think that they need anything. There's a couple of different things that we may need, and that's food, shelter, air, and water. Those are the primary things that we subsist on this life and live by. But outside of that, we don't really need anything else. And I forgot shelter. You're going to need some place to live. But outside of that, you don't really need anything. All these things are just things that we are what considered are extras. So talking about this love and living over various emotions, how do we learn to love ourselves? There's not a book, there's not a manual, there's not instructions that tell you how to love yourself. So therefore, we come into the world learning to love ourselves through other people. If my mom loves me enough, then I'm worthy of love, or I'm one of these people who somebody loves me enough. If my dad loves me enough, or if my girlfriend or boyfriend, husband or wife loves me enough, then I'm deemed worthy of love. But we never really learn how to love ourselves. We never take the time to learn how to love ourselves. And when we do see someone that's really loving themselves and taking themselves as the utmost priority, we call those people self-centered. We call those people cocky. There are all kind of names that we call those type of people. One of the things that I learned was that for me, coming up, it was always about being humble, being humble, being humble. If you look at people who are really successful, you look at a lot of successful athletes, these athletes are anything but humble. They think that they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And they have to carry that mentality anywhere. I remember one of my favorite sports heroes is Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali used to say, I am the greatest. I am the greatest. And he said I was the greatest even before I became that. So whatever you think about yourself is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So when you're looking for love through all kind of different people, what you're going to find out is that people are fickle. They're going to let you down. The second thing that you're going to find out is that when you start loving yourself more, when you start putting yourself as a priority, those people who may not love you or they love you part of the time, they're going to show you that they love you more. It's a funny thing that people kind of mirror us and that we're not loving ourselves. People show up in our lives to show us that. Our jobs show up in our life, things that we're going through in our life that show us that. Illness, the weight shows up in our life to show us that. So everything goes back to self-love. And if you don't love yourself, you will go through these things over and over and over again. I'm looking at notes here tonight because this is powerful. That you must love yourself first before others can love you. And going back to illness and weight and all this stuff, a lot of times we're suppressing our emotions over the long haul. It's not that you have to feel your emotions and bring them up all the time. It's just that, hey, you know what? I'm mad, I'm angry, 15, 20 seconds and let it go. A lot of people carry around anger, revenge, hate for their whole life. And what happens is that manifests in illness. Whatever you're keeping inside of your body has to manifest on outwardly and manifest into your reality. And a lot of people are not knowing how to deal with their emotions. Everything underlying in our bodies that comes out from the side of illness generally starts with our emotional fortitude, what we're holding in emotionally. It's not that we have germs and viruses and all these other things. It's that we have something that we are not dealing with, and therefore we have manifested this illness. It gets a little deep in what we're doing versus what appears in our reality. But know that you are the creator. You are the author of all of this stuff that is happening to you. And for a lot of people, it's hard to grasp that concept because most of the time we want to blame somebody. We want to blame this person. We want to blame our boss. We want to blame our spouse. But if you stop blaming your spouse, you'll notice that you can take back your power and know that, hey, I'm the creator of all this stuff. If I created a bad situation via my thoughts, I can always change that situation via my thoughts. Our thoughts are powerful. Our thoughts are vibration. Those things emanate out from us and attract the things to us. So if there's an illness that you're going through or something else that you're going through in your life right now, notice that that is coming to you, is attracted to you by your thoughts. But here's the caveat in that. Here's the most beneficial thing about that is you can turn these things around and you can have them benefit you. Through my journey, I've learned that there's a couple of different concepts that keep a lot of people from loving themselves. The first thing is people pleasing. A lot of us are people pleasers. We're taught that from an early age. We're taught to please our mom. We're taught to please our dad. But what about pleasing yourself? Please yourself first. How many of you out there who are viewing this or maybe viewing this later on after I'm done, ask yourself, how many times have I said no when someone wants me to do something? How many times am I able to say no? Even if you just want to sit there and you want to rest for a day without having to run around and help other people, how many times can you say no and feel good about it? This is something that I had to learn. The other thing is just criticizing ourselves. We criticize ourselves because we're not losing weight fast enough. We're criticizing ourselves because we're not where we're supposed to be in life. Perhaps we're 30. We're supposed to think we're supposed to have a Mercedes-Benz at this time and have a bank account overflowing with money, and perhaps we're not there. So we're constantly criticizing ourselves for what we're not doing. So when you're criticizing yourself, there's no way in the world that you can actually love yourself. The next thing is carrying baggage. A lot of people carry baggage through their life, and I spoke about this a little bit earlier about suppressing emotions. You're carrying shame, you're carrying guilt for something that happened in the past. The past really has nothing to show you for your future. And furthermore, the past doesn't have anything to show you for living right now. And that's what you want to do. You want to live in the now. You're watching this. Is everything good right now? Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have water to drink? Do you have food to eat? Is your body okay right now? All you have to work with is the now aspect. What's going on right now? If you're not having these things, know that your power is in the moment. Your power is here. Your power is right now. So change your thoughts about what you're doing, and you will see over a period of time that your world will begin to slowly change. When you're having these moments of you're beating up on yourself, or you're carrying this baggage, you're carrying your people pleasing, all of this stuff is getting you or leading you back to loving yourself. To loving yourself. These are moments when you have to reflect back on and say, am I loving myself enough? And that's why I kind of gave the love an acronym of living over various emotions, because we go through different emotions every day. And all these emotions, these thoughts that we're having about ourselves, these misconceptions that we're having about ourselves, all they're doing is leading us back to love. That's all they're doing. They're just leading you back to the love of self. So when you're having these misconceptions about yourself, I'm people pleasing. I'm criticizing myself. I'm carrying extra baggage about who I think I am. Realize that the reason why you are having this disharmony is because your soul doesn't even think about it that way. Your soul loves you. Your soul is saying, hey, Jane is the best thing since sliced bread, or Henry is the best thing since sliced bread, or Paul, or whoever. Your soul never looks at anything from the standpoint of lack. It's saying that you are lacking something. You're not enough. You don't love yourself enough. So the reason for that dissension and that disharmony within you is because you are thinking about that, but your soul isn't. And therefore, it's kind of like headbutting. So realize when you're going through these things, when you're focusing on what you don't like about yourself, when you're focusing on what you don't have, when you're focusing on something that you see in your partner, what you're doing is really saying that I don't love myself enough. Because when you love yourself enough, you look on others with the eye of love, and that reflection will come back to you. Everything starts with you. It doesn't start with anyone else. A lot of people don't know that, but it starts with you. When you love yourself, the world shows you that. And alternatively, when you don't love yourself, the world will show that to you as well. These things are simple to change. And a lot of people that encounter illness and all kind of health related things, all it is that you're not loving yourself enough. You're not valuing yourself enough. And therefore, what happens is that these things have to manifest in your physical reality. Even if you're going through things like losing your job, getting fired from a job, gaining a ton of weight, again, it all leads back to loving yourself. And a lot of people think that they love themselves. I used to think that I love myself. I had a high degree of love because I came from an athletic background. I had confidence, all these things. But the eye-opening thing for me was really sitting in front of a piece of paper one day and really asking myself, what do I love about Darren? And I sat in front of that paper for an hour just trying to figure out what I loved about myself. I finally did one thing. I picked one thing. And from that, I built momentum on loving myself. And that's what happens. You will build that momentum. But the thing that I realized is that as I love myself more, and I really focused on the good concepts or the good aspects about myself, people were changing. I was beginning to get more love from others, but it started with me first. So once you change that conception that you have about yourself, other people will show you that. So take a barometer of what's going on within your world right now and ask yourself, does my world look as good as it possibly can be? Are people showing you love? Or are you constantly in arguments? Are you constantly in dissension with other people? And this will tell you if you love yourself. Because when you love yourself, you're in love with yourself, everything is in harmony. And that's what life should be. Life should be in harmony. Sometimes you're going to go through contrast, but know that that contrast is in place for you to expand and grow. These things that we think are bad that are happening to us, they're not bad things at all. It's just for our soul to grow, our soul to expand. And no one is exempt from soul growth. You're here to grow. No one. Everybody's going through something, but that contrast that you're going through is in place for you to take it and grow from it. You are the creator, the author of your own life, and take some time to find out what areas am I lacking in and what areas would I like to change. And chances are it all comes back to loving yourself more. Love, again, is living over various emotions. Remember, anything that you're encountering in your life at this point, at this time, is showing you back to love. And that's why I always say one love when I sign off, because that just means self-love. Have love for yourself first, and everything else will take care of itself. Darren McDuffie, alias Fat Man, helping you become perfectly Healthy in Tone and Conscious Show. One love. I'm out.